We have this nail all prepped and ready to go. If you need to review the prep video, we do have another episode of Darcy's Desk that covers prep for the Lexi line or Jimmy Gel product. So go ahead and take a look at that. And we also have applied the form, and if you need to review the form modification video, go ahead and take a look at that one. We're going to apply Tack. We're going to use this very sparingly and scrub it into that prepped nail surface. And we'll go ahead and cure this in the LEDdot or the MiniDot for 30 seconds. So to start building structure on this nail, I'm going to come in with a little of our Ideal Pink Builder and my number 6 Kolinsky brush. I'm going to roll this off on the nail plate, and I'm going to use our frosting technique to very gently guide this builder gel around the surface of the nail. And this is just going to be our first layer. We're not trying to build the structure with our first layer of gel. We want to make sure that this is applied thin enough that it will cure all the way through to the nail plate and give us a good foundation to create an enhancement. So to create the extension, I'll grab another dollop of gel, roll that off onto the form, and use that same frosting motion to bring this up to the gel that I have already applied onto the nail plate. Go ahead and pinch my brush out into a lint-free wipe, and now I can clean up my edges. So I want to clean up the shape of this nail. And then I want to rotate and make sure that I have my product pulled all the way back, attaching that to her free edge, making sure there's no gap in coverage there along both side walls. Now I do see I have a little air bubble right here in my product, and I'm just going to go and poke that with the bristles before I put it into cure, and then just use a very light dragging technique to smooth that out a little bit. I don't have to worry about the surface being perfectly smooth, and I'll show you why in the next step. We'll go ahead and cure that for 1 minute in the LEDdot. So we've got our builder applied, and we've gone ahead and cured that, and you can see that we have not built any structure in this apex or stress area. This is just a thin application over her nail and onto the form to start our shape of our nail and have our foundation gel in place. I'm going to come in with Baby Pink Extreme, grab a dollop of that, roll that off, and now I'm going to apply what we call a slip layer. So a slip layer is a thin layer of uncured gel that we will then begin to build our structure into. So I'm just applying a thin application over the entire enhancement. And now with that layer being uncured, I can come in with another dollop of gel and roll that off in that apex area and allow that to self-level. We're placing the apex a little further back on the nail plate so that when the nail grows out, the apex will be over the stress area and provide additional support when the entire enhancement is out of balance. If I feel like I need more product in our stress area and on our extension edge on the nail, I can come in with a tail of product and just lay that in there and also allow that to self-level. It'll fill in any little dips or bumps or imperfections in the nail and give the nail just a little bit more strength. It's going to help us to build that arch and that curve that we were talking about. Okay, so this is self-leveled and it is now ready to cure for 1 minute in the LEDdot or MiniDot. Now we'll cleanse the inhibition layer using our LE Pro cleanser and our lint-free wipe. You want to be sure to cleanse that cuticle to free edge because your inhibition layer is uncured gel. And now we'll remove our form. And now we'll start to file this nail into shape. So I always start along the sides and with the lower arch, making sure that that comes out straight from the sidewall. Then I'm just removing excess gel that was on the form that isn't really cured to be thick enough to be strong. Then we'll come up along the sidewall and make sure the nail product is flush with the natural nail plate. Blend that around the cuticle area, staying on top of the product as I'm filing the product more flush to the nail. And then I go from stress area to free edge to just blend that nice and smooth. And then blend the apex area of the nail into the rest of the nail plate. Just give this a couple more strokes to even up this shape. We'll dust that and cleanse it to remove all that dust and file debris. Looking at it from the side view, you can see the apex placement. In 2 to 3 weeks, this will be perfectly positioned over the stress area, providing that additional support we're going to need. So we have our apex placed, and we have a nice arch on the whole entire nail, creating that nice arch that's similar to that egg shape that we talked about earlier. The C-curve of the nail is nicely balanced from sidewall to sidewall. The nail extension is kept very thin, and we're going to have a nice strong enhancement, even though we've kept the product thin at the free edge. Know that there is more structure built into this nail behind that free edge, but we want to keep those free edges nice and thin and natural looking. And just to show what that looks like, I'm going to go ahead and shorten this nail a little bit so you can see how much product is actually behind the very thinness of the tip of that free edge. So I'll come in with our shaper bit and our zippy just to take some length down so you can see that behind the thin edges of our extension we have product built in there to keep this nail nice and strong. And you can see it's a little bit thicker just behind the very tip of that free edge. If I take the product down shorter, you'll see that there's more product built in deeper into this nail structure. So as we get deeper into this enhancement, you can see that the structure is built into the nail to create that arch and support that C-curve.